Hello there, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to convert an old PC like this into your own little home lab. So we're here with the Intel Core i5 2310 second generation processor at 2.9 GHz. It's got 4 cores and 4 threads. And it's from like 2012, which is an old PC, but we're actually going to turn it into a server. Now, for a server to run virtual machines and containers and things like that, you're going to actually want to upgrade your RAM. So as you can see, I've got an 8GB stick here of RAM. I'm going to put 2 in the 4 slots to run it in dual channel. So we're going to do that now. Let me just place them in. So as you can see, we've got them both in the black slots, which makes the memory dual channel. So next we're going to talk about the boot media. So here we have a Crucial SSD, the 240GB one. That's capable of about 400 megabytes per second, which is quite good. These are very cheap. They're about £40–45 off Amazon, maybe even cheaper now. That was one I bought it about a year ago. So that's going to be our boot media, is this SSD. This will offer fast boot times, and you can store a couple of VMs on here with the 240GB. We also have this 2.5-inch 2TB Seagate hard drive. It's at 5400 RPM from a laptop, as you can see, but that doesn't really matter. This is just going to give us storage. So let me plug them in so you can see that there are 3 SATA slots like there. So you need something like a SATA cable to plug them in. So I'll proceed to plug these both in. So as you can see, it's pretty janky, the setup, but it doesn't really matter. It's a home server, and I probably am going to change it soon anyway. So it brings us on to what OS we're going to run. So I've decided to run Windows Server 2019, and you should probably run the same. This is because you will find that Windows Server obviously works best in server environments, which is what we're using. We're going to also use a NAS, create a NAS on here, which will take advantage of the 2TB drive. So to create the bootable USB, we'll go back onto the computer and I'll show you how to create one. So here we are on Windows 10 now, and you can see that I've got this page up called rufus.ie. So we're going to actually want to download this, so you can scroll down and click download there, Rufus 2.20, and then if you go up to a new tab, you want to type in Windows Server 2019 ISO. Nearly said 2012 then. And then if you go on the Microsoft Evaluation Center, it's actually free for 180 days. So you enter some information, which I'll do off screen, and we can actually download it. So let me just enter the information now. So once you've entered your information, you'll see that you can download the 64-bit edition ISO. So we're going to do that, the English one. And as you can see there, it's downloading, so about 7 minutes for me on 100 megabit internet, so yours might be quicker or slower. So just see how long it'll take. So let me meet you back when it's done. So now, as you can see, it's finished. So we're going to open up that application called Rufus. So here we go. You can see that I need to click select, and you want to select where your ISO is. I just have. and you want to insert USB drive. So I've got a 32GB SanDisk, so I'm going to insert that. And then you just want to click start. And then just click OK if it asks anything about regional settings and all that. And then just click OK. So now, as you can see, it's creating the partition and things. Shouldn't take that long, I'd say about 5 minutes. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. So we are now finished and the USB has been written. So we're going to head back over to the server and we're going to boot it from USB. So I'm going to capture the screen using my capture card. So let me get that working. So I realised that the server was that old, or the computer was that old, that it doesn't have HDMI, it only has DisplayPort, so I'm going to have to capture the screen. So if I power on the server, you can see that it's powered on, and we're just going to hold the F12 key on the keyboard. It's going to prepare a boot menu, and we're going to go to the UEFI SanDisk to boot up the operating system off of the USB. So as you can see, it's loading files. Sorry if it's a bit blurry, the camera. It's a very new camera, so I'm not sure how to use it properly yet. So I hope you like these sort of videos. It's a bit different to the ones that I do usually, because I'm usually a Hackintosh person, but I thought I would mix it up a bit because they can get a bit repetitive. So as you can see, it's loading files. So whilst it does this, I will add that I've got a donations page which is in the description, saving up for a HPDL 385p which is a 24 core Opteron with 32 gigs of RAM for all the virtualization stuff. So stay tuned for that video that you'll see quite soon of me actually unboxing it, and we'll actually install something like Proxmox on it. So as you can see, we're greeted with the install menu. I'm just going to select United Kingdom. You can use tab to scroll through, and then we're going to press enter. Enter again, and you'll see that the setup is starting. So I'm using VGA at the moment, so sorry if it's very crap quality, but as you can see, we've got a desktop experience one, which is the one that we want. So we're going to go to that and press enter. Accept the license agreement, press tab and enter, and then we've got a setup here that I'm just going to delete all the partitions on the SSD because I actually use this for something else. I'm going to select our 240GB SSD. That's our 2TB one, which we'll set up later. So we'll press enter there, and you can see that it's copying Windows files. So this will take quite a while, depending on how quick your hard drive or SSD is, and also depending on how quick USB is transferring. So it could be very quick or slow, but I'll meet you back here when it's nearly done. So as you can see, it's nearly finished, and we should get rebooted. So before I actually let it reboot though, I'm going to change a BIOS setting that I forgot to do before, but it doesn't really matter. I also plugged in a mouse as well. And yes, I am using a power supply as a mousepad, but we don't need to worry about that. So it's just nearly done now, nearly ready. If we click restart now, hold F12 again, which is the boot menu, but you can access BIOS through it, so we'll do that. There we go, preparing one-time boot menu. So we're going to scroll down to BIOS setup. And we're going to scroll down to virtualization support under Dell and enable that, make sure it's enabled. We're going to let it reboot now. You just press escape or F10 and then save the changes. So here we are, it's booting. So it'll now get ready. So if this comes up, all you need to do is press enter, and we're going to have to change it to where it's UEFI, because Windows doesn't like it if it's in legacy and it's a 64-bit operating system. So we're going to change that. We're going to go to here, boot sequence, and change it from legacy to UEFI, like so. And then you can click on apply and then reboot. So this time we should be greeted with the getting ready screen that Windows usually displays. So once we've booted up, I'll show you how to enable remote desktop, and then we can go back onto the PC and configure it. So here we are, got a Windows logo spinning, more like the Dell logo, but it shouldn't take that long to prepare. So again, it depends on your speedy hard drive or SSD that you're using. Obviously, because I'm using an SSD, it won't take as long. So you can see that mine is nearly done. It says getting ready. So I'll wait until it's ready. So now we're greeted with the screen that tells us to set a password. So I'll do that right now off camera. So you do that, press enter, and we're greeted with the lock screen. So you press Control Alt and then delete, and you'll see that it comes up. You're going to log in, and you will see the desktop. Now Server Manager will create itself automatically, but that's fine. So we're just going to click don't show this message again. This is actually a great way. I might show this in one of the next videos, but we're going to close that. We're going to head to local server at the side, and we're going to enable remote desktop. So you can see it's disabled. You click on the hyperlink and click allow, then OK, and then click apply. We're also going to set a computer name, so I'm going to click that and click change, and then we're going to just call it Homelab, like that. Press enter, OK, and then we're going to actually have to restart. Well, this should be the last time that you get to restart, because I'm going to head on to Windows now, and we're going to configure it through remote desktop, which is a lot easier. So let's go back to the Windows computer. So we're back on the Windows PC, and we're going to download something called Microsoft Remote Desktop from the Microsoft Store. So it's this one at the top. You want to download it. I'm just going to open it. Then once it's open, you will be greeted with a screen that looks a bit like this. So you want to click add at the top right, PCs, and then the PC name was Homelab, and then the display name we can just leave at default. So we're going to click that, and we'll be greeted with a screen asking for a username and password. So I'm going to show you that right now. Just give me a moment. So you'll get a screen like this. The username's administrator, and then the password is the one you set. So let me input that. We're just going to click connect, and then just click don't ask about the certificate again, and then click connect anyway. Now you will see the same screen that we saw before, but obviously we are connecting through remote desktop, which is brilliant. So now all we want to do is download something called Windows Admin Center. So I will show you how to do that now. So we need to go on local server first, and we need to turn off IA Advanced Security Config. So I've done that. It'll still say it's on, but you can just click tasks and then refresh. It really does not matter, because obviously Internet Explorer is the only thing we have right now. You can download Chrome later. So I'm going to download Windows Admin Center. Accept all. Then it's in the Microsoft website, so we're going to click that and click download. Simple. Click save, and we'll get a download message. So it'll take quite a while. As you can see, I'm only downloading 1 megabyte per second for some reason. So let's just wait. So now you can see it's finished. We're going to click run, and it's going to validate that everything is ready to install. We're going to accept it. Next. Next, sure. No, we don't want Microsoft Update. And we'll click next. Next. So it's going to create its own self-signed cert. That's fine. And then we should get it to install. So what's this going to do? So it's going to allow us to access it from a web interface to manage it instead of launching up remote desktop, which is quite a lot easier, but we'll get onto that later. I'm going to actually show you how to install Hyper-V, which is a virtualization host directly integrated. But before we do that, we need to set up a file server using Windows storage spaces. So I'll show you how to do that too. So whilst this is extracting, we're going to right click on the Windows logo. I'm going to go to disk management. So you'll get a message like this. Just click OK, and then you'll see that we've got our disk here. Click new simple volume, next, and we're going to just call it storage. Just click finish. Then if we go to our file explorer, once it's formatted, we'll see that it says storage. This is my USB that is still plugged in. But we can see the storage F, and we've got 1.81 terabytes. So we're going to now wait for this to finish. So let's wait for it. So you can see that now it's finished. So we're going to click finish ourselves. We're going to close this, and we're going to go to manage at the top right. We're going to click add roles and features, and we're going to add 2 at the same time. So role based feature, click next. Click on next again, and we're going to install file and storage services. So they're already installed, but make sure they are. So we're going to click them. So we're going to make sure file servers ticked, and we're also going to click Hyper-V. Click add features. We're going to click next, next again, next. We're going to select a virtual switch, so it's just one Ethernet here. Next, migration, don't bother with that. And we're going to select a default folder. So if I go to browse and then go to this PC, go to storage, and then we're going to create a new folder called VMs, and then VDisks in there, which is where the hard disks are going to be stored. And then we're going to go back here again and select the main directory there. So click restart automatically, yes, and then click install. So now it's going to install and restart. So I'll meet you back when it's installed and restarted. So we are back. you can see where server manager's opened again. If you don't want it to open at startup, which I personally don't like, you go to manage and then go to server manager properties there, and then click do not start server manager at login. So it's going to actually still install some things here, which I do not know what it's installing. Probably the file server, but wait, I've finished, so it says installation succeeded, so we can close it. You'll see that we've now got a new Hyper-V screen, and we have now got a file and storages section. So we're going to click on volumes, and you'll see that our F drive is here. So we're going to click on storage pools, and we want to create one. So go here and then go to new storage pool. Next, we're going to call it storage pool 1. There's no primordial pool because we've already created disk, so that's the disk. You can see that there's no storage pool overview, so we're gonna go into device disk management. Sorry, we're gonna delete our volume. It is my mistake. Delete it. And we're going to go to storage pool and create a new one. So it says that there's no primordial pool, so we need to go to disks, volumes here. You can see that it says new volume and things. We're going to create some primordial pool. So there's this, which is, I think, has a primordial pool. It is very complicated to set up and quite a pain. So we're going to go to new simple volume, create one here, and I'll show you how to create a share. I'm still very new to Windows Server, even though I've used it since 2012. I'm new to the storage spaces. So you'll see that now we have the disk. If we go to shares and then click new share wizard, a quick share, it's going to be under the F drive. Next, and we're going to call it VMs. I'm going to click next there. You can do whatever. I'm just going to click next, and then customize permission. I'm going to do it where everyone has read and write access. You should only do this if you're in an isolated private network. Click OK, full control, apply, and replace all child objects. There we go. Next, and click create. Now we've got the share. So on Hyper-V we go to tools and then Hyper-V manager. You'll see that there's now a new window that's popped up. We're going to click on the Homelab server. We're going to go to Hyper-V settings, and then you'll see that there is not that location anymore, so we have to create it again. So I'm going to create it, VMs, and then vdisks. There we go. So I'm going to show you how to access that file share in Windows. So all we're going to do is go in the File Explorer, type in //192.168.0. and then whatever the IP address is, or for easier access you can do / Homelab. It'll ask you for username and password, so enter that. Remember my credentials, click OK, and you'll see the VMs is here. So this is the pool, you'll see there. Now we're going to transfer an ISO over. So we're going to copy both of them, and we're going to paste them in an ISOs folder. So I've not got permission. As I said, you're going to need to change that. So storage shares, and then the VMs show. I'm gonna go on properties, security, and make sure that users and things have full permission. There we go, I created the folder. If it still says that, you're going to have to change it on the actual file and storage service here. We're going to go on properties, permissions, customize, and then replace. Apply that. If it still doesn't work, there we go. Built-in administrators, you need to change to full control of all the folders, subfolders, files and everything. Replace. So I've now fixed the issues. It was some stupid permissions, stuff that I had configured before. So now we can paste in our ISOs to try. Now you'll see that the speed is shocking. Now that is either because you've got a 100 meg NIC or that you've got a Cat5 cable, which mine is the second option. So I'm going to switch that out real quick. So you'll see that the Cat5e cable will be shocking. So I'm going to put a Cat7 in. This is a gigabit Intel NIC, so it is capable of 1 gigabit or 100 megabytes per second. So we're going to plug that in and we're going to click resume. You'll see that if we go back here, you might have to reconnect, which I will need to. So back. If it's not going any quicker, you need to change some settings. So we're going to right click, open network settings, change adapter options. This is, as you can see, 1 gigabit per second, and so is that. So we're going to restart the file transfer. So I'm going to copy some things from my downloads and try again. Whoops, I went on the wrong file share, the one with no permissions. Here we go. As you can see now, we're getting full speed. So I'll wait the 1 minute and 45 seconds for them all to copy over, and then we'll create our first VM. So you can see that they're copied over, so if we head back over here, head back to Hyper-V Manager and make it full screen, you can see that there's no virtual machines right at the top. We're going to click New, Virtual Machine. Next, we're going to make a Windows 11 VM. Click Next. Generation 2. Next. Give it RAM. You shouldn't give it that much. You check on Task Manager here how much RAM you have. I have 16 gigabytes, so I'm fine. Click Next. We're going to connect it to a bridged network. That's fine. And we're going to get a 129 gigabyte drive. Installation option. We're going to go from an ISO, so we can go here, VMs, ISOs, and then Windows 11, and then click Finish. So you can see it's created at the top now. We're going to double click and you should see a pop-up window here. Click Start. It looks a bit like the old version of Remote Desktop because that's basically what it is. I I just missed it. I need to restart it. But you just want to boot from CD DVD, and you can actually just start to install Windows 11. So I'm going to do that right now. So click next, install. It'll be a lot quicker to install because the ISO images coming directly off the computer, so it's going to be faster than a gigabit per second. I'll do Windows 11 Pro. So if it says this, it's because what we need to do is, if we turn off the virtual machine and then edit the settings, you'll see that it only has one core. We need to give it a quad core. So try again. We're going to boot it back up. It's Windows, because what it does, it just allocates it a small portion of the system, so obviously your system's not overloaded. But whilst this is deploying, I'll show you Windows Admin Center, which is a great piece of software, a web interface in fact. So let's try again. Windows 11 Pro. So it's still not doing it, so I'm gonna just try Windows Server 2019. So to change the image, I'm gonna go here and then just click that and change it to the Server 2019 image. It's just decided not to work for me today. So as you can see, loading files is a lot quicker because it's just coming straight off the hard drive instead of going over a USB or the network. So I've selected that. So you could use something like VMware Workstation Pro, but I like Hyper-V because of how simple it is, and I also like it because you can use Windows Admin Center. So I'm going to do the same as we did before, but in a virtual machine. Enter, and it's gonna install. So let me go on Chrome now, and we'll have a look at Windows Admin Center. So we're in Chrome. We're going to do https://homelab, and then enter. Obviously we're going to get it because self-signed cert, and we're going to enter our normal username and password that we use to log into remote desktop. Enter, and you can see that it looks really nice, so I'm going to stop that. So we're going to click on Homelab. It's going to connect, so you can add multiple servers to this, but here we are. This is what we get. So it's detecting all of the things that we have, such as file and file sharing, the certificates, the devices, and you can see the actual specs of the server here. So, and the Ethernet. So if I head over to the Hyper-V part, if I can find it, if not you can actually just search for it. Oh, there we go, see, reboot pending, so that is probably why. But you can click remote desktop, and then, oh there we go, virtual machines is right at the bottom. So it's rendering all the things as it says. You can see there, if we click on it, we should get some information about the virtual machine, the disks. If we click connect and then connect again, and I'm going to enter the username and password. Connect. You can see here that we're connected. So this is great for doing it out of reach of, for example, a Windows computer with a remote desktop. And you can just go straight to remote desktop here. You can create users from here, everything. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks ever so much for watching. We've successfully turned our server into a home lab. So thanks ever so much for watching. Goodbye.